Video number 204, finding the first term of a sequence. Here is the rule or the formula that we will be using to find various terms of a sequence. So if you wanted to find the, let's say you wanted to find the, let's see, this is the first term, second term, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, okay? If you wanted to find maybe the 11th term, for example, let's say we wanted to find a sub 11, which means the 11th term. What we would do is plug 11 in for n, and it would be that simple. We would have a sub 11 equals a sub 1, which is 3, that means the first term, plus 11 minus 1 times whatever the common difference is. And we're going up by 5 each time, so it's plus 5. So we'd end up with 3 plus, well, 10 times 5 is obviously 50, so therefore we could say that the 11th term is 53. And we can do that a number of different ways, but instead of, adding 5, a bunch of times, in fact, we're going to figure out right here why this is n minus 1. Let's think about it for a moment, okay? Here we are at the 4th term, okay? So a sub 4 equals 18, which it equals to 3 and then what? Plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. To get to the 4th term, we took 3 and added 5 4 times. See that? To get to the 5th term, we would start with 3 and we would add 5 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Oh, add 5 3 times. A sub 4. To get to 18, we started at 3, we went plus 5 once, plus 5 twice, plus 5 3 times. That's why we'd add 3 5s. So then, of course, to get to a sub 5, start off at 3, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. So to get to the 5th term, you'd start here and you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 additions to do. That's why it's n minus 1 would be the pattern. Okay? So that's why this formula is what it is. And if you think about it, works here for this other sequence here, b sub n. The first term is 22. What are we doing? Subtracting 10. Or in other words, adding negative 10 each time. So to get to this 5th term, you'll start at 22 and you'll add negative 10 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's how that all works out. That's why it's n minus 1 times the difference. Here we go. Suppose that an arithmetic sequence has a sub 10, or the 10th term, equal to negative 16, and the 18th term equal to negative 40. Find the first term. It takes 8 terms, 18 minus 8, to get from negative 16 down to 40, negative 40. How do we know that? Because there's obviously 8 terms here separating the 10th and 18th term. So, therefore, we use a quote-unquote slope, and we call that d rather than slope, rather than m. It's a distance. Negative 40 minus negative 16 over 8. And 8 is the number of terms we're going to divide, so therefore each term is separated by negative 3. So the common difference is negative 3. Here's the key, the next step. That I think everybody can follow, but check this out. Here's the logic. Since a sub 10 is negative 16, we will have negative 16 equals a sub 1 plus 10 minus 1 times negative 3. How does that work? Because negative 16 would be the value you would get if you plugged in 10 for n. Alright, so that's about as logical as I can get here. Then distribute the negative 3 times the 9, that's negative 27, plus negative 16 would then be 11. So therefore the first term is 11. Therefore we can say a sub n if you wanted to. Now this problem, you can stop here if you want, but this is just, maybe it says find the first term and the rule. Then you can go back and write the rule a sub n, 11 plus n minus 1 times negative 3. A lot of times this is a very good answer because it leaves you in the form where you can see what the first term is. Otherwise, you can distribute the negative 3 and you'll end up with 11 plus the 3 to give you 14, so a negative 3n plus 14. All right? Any questions or concerns, send me an email. I'm taking video requests at the blog, and good times.